What the fuck is up, guys? We're back for another episode of Peer Review. Tonight we got UBUR with us. We also got Devin joining us, but he's a little bit late, getting some dinner, finishing some laundry, but he'll be with us in no time. Uh, First up, we're gonna listen to this Space Wizard remix. You have anything you want to say about it before we start it up?
Uh, yeah, this is a fun one I did for my buddy Mike. He got just pretty much a bunch of the Discord boys all together and just put a remix EP together and got Prosecute, Sora, and Molly on there. And if you haven't heard it already, definitely worth checking it out. Very good tracks from some very cool people.
Yeah, that's a fucking cracked EP of
Ooh, hype
remixes. What the
train.
hell?
Nate with the gifted subs. Thank you.
Oh, an apostle with the prime sub, nice. Oh, and No Limits DJ No Lemon Soldier fucking gave out a community sub at the beginning too. Same with Bert and Ernie. All right, Crash Landing coming up.
Sounds so funny. I think out of context,
I fucking love that sound.
Yeah. That was a banger.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
just a
I'm
fucking
glad that I all
fun
like it.
track. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that one, like, I don't know. Remixes are always tough to do, and I wanted to definitely like get like within like the more I don't know what you would necessarily like describe it, but like the wonkier sort of style that like Space Wizard's known for, and just like do my own little bit on that. But like that main base is me just scrolling through Maelstrom and finding I think it's literally like the instrument Jew's harp. And if you just mess with it enough, it just turns it to that wob sound. And
That's
I'm like,
fucking
okay,
sick.
we'll
No,
run with
I
it.
like, yeah, I like how you tried to incorporate like more of his style into it, like not just doing like
Yeah, just
Uber remixing it.
have a random drop with a random track. I mean,
Yeah,
some situations that works really well, but I wanted to definitely have a blend. It's like, hey, here, Space Wizard audience, here is a tune that
Mhm.
is might be up your alley or something like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
I'm
some
gonna
cross
cater to the
promotion.
audience.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
do some crowd work. I'm
That
gonna do some crowd work. Is what
that's
I'm gonna
using your
do.
fucking head. Like a lot of people don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't they?
No, I don't use my head either.
Hell
I appreciate the kind words though.
yeah. All right. Up first, we got Nair, who donated fucking pretty much right as we hit start streaming.
Oh hell yeah.
Shout out Nair.
Shout out Nair. Junior, senior. Move your feet. Nair at it.
Dude,
What?
it broke again.
Oh, just rewind it. Should be fine.
Ah, sure. Yeah, okay.
This makes me think of White Chicks immediately. This part is fucking sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say this part is definitely a highlight of the track so far. Naturally very creative.
This is it right here. This is my favorite part of the tune.
Yeah, I'd say it'd probably be worth like having this as that first drop.
Honestly, yeah.
Fuck!
What now?
Fucking broke again, dude.
No way.
Why are we even listening to this on cassette, bro? Dubstep wasn't invented until 2010.
I don't know.
No, that was sick. I really like the way you took the OG tune, made it your own, but the end section I think could be its own drop, like, or it could like be the first drop, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree
That part
to that.
is so fucking sick to me, because you take the main part of the original tune and then you make it your own.
Like, the one thing when it comes to bootlegs for me, especially when you're taking such an iconic song, it's really like you have to really pay homage to like this the iconic melodies and everything that is in there. And usually the way I would like to do it is try to incorporate that like through the bass line, whether it's like something in the intro of it or like just taking that root note on the build section, the ba 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 bum, bum. Like you could probably just make a pattern with like exactly that with the root note. But the B section drop is really interesting. It probably should just be like the first drop. Other than that, I feel like the song like I, I was listening a little lower on my Discord volume just because I forgot I had Discord enabled, but it seemed like it could be like slightly more compressed. Just because I noticed like elements like the hats and the basses just felt like not as glued together as I would want it to, essentially. And that really comes down to uh, really dialing in a like sort of multi-band compression, whether it's on your master or throughout your bass chain, or sometimes what you can actually do is like you can sort of fake like a sort of a glue effect with your cymbals by like introducing either like a really slow ring mod or a really fast volume automation to make it sound like it's sizzling a little bit. But that's a season to taste sort of thing. That's just like a really specific tool in your wide array of tool as far as like music making and production stuff goes. Yeah, and like as far as like the whole sizzle effect, like you'll get different effects from it from different ring mods, and it'll sound different from a really fast volume automation. For example, the FL Studio bass ring mod, if you put it at a really slow rate, well, like essentially, let me open up my own FL Studio. A lot of times I like having a lot of times I'll when people ask me for feedback, I'll just put the song I'm feedbacking into like FL and just do it in real time. But like for example, if you're using Empering mod, like a 30 hertz frequency for it will probably give a similar effect as to a 132 rate volume automation on it. But the main thing is you want it to sound glued together, and that's like a fake way of emulating it. If you want to actually just like try to glue it in the old fashioned way, you could use a bunch of different like techniques via parallel compression. And if you're not familiar with parallel compression, all it means is I have adjusted the dry wet knob on my OTT. It's not at 100%, but it's also not at 0%. It's somewhere in between in a very mysterious manner. I'll never tell. I'll never tell the percentage.
Can't you gotta subscribe to the Patreon for that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I have no technical feedback to give. I mean, Uber fucking slaughtered that. For me, I mean, dude, this song is so iconic and it has such a catchy groove and melody. I feel like that was lost on the majority of the drops. The whole dubstep 2 thing, I think it's a bit pretentious for my taste. I think you can dumb it down a lot because I've seen you do catchy, groovy shit, you know? Everything doesn't have to be so fucking technical, fucking nerd. But the parts where you do just kind of like take a step back and focus on the musical parts, like the parts in between the drops, they're really fucking cool. But for me personally, on the drops, nigga, you doing too much.
I mean, that is like that like it's really easy to like overdo something, but a lot of the times the best thing to do when it comes to that, at least for me personally, is like do as much as you can and then come back in like a later session and see what you can like take away. Because a lot of like really cool grooves and really cool ideas can just be like achieved by just removing stuff. Just let me take it all out. Yeah, this is much better now that there's nothing going on. No, but like actually like just chopping stuff around and making it making it like all part of it is also just making it like so that your project file is like malleable, having some level of organization, but that you could go on a whole different tangent as far as like workflow stuff goes.
Fuck yeah. Alright. Up next we got Bert and Ernie, then Smileys, then we got fucking Lysergics, No Lemons, Sarva, Uvalid, Base Galaxy, Jackson, Raindrop, Orvmo, and In Vain. Shout out to everyone for the donos. Let's get Bert and Ernie loaded up.
I like that name, Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, because it reminds you of a time where your parents were beating you.
I only had one parent, and they didn't beat
Parents
me
are
that
doing
much.
double duty.
That much.
Dude,
I know. I've got to talk to her about that.
Only
Tell
when
her
I
that
was
she
out of
should have done some
line.
more. All right, last Agni Kai.
Sorry, but you're not going to become Fire Lord today. I am.
Let's settle this. Just you and me, brother. The showdown that was always meant to be. Agni Kai! I'm sorry it has to end this way, brother.
No, you're not. There's something off about her. She's slipping. What's the matter? No lightning today?
I'll show you lightning!
Can I go first? Because I don't have that much to say. I got two things.
Okay, wait,
hold on. I don't like
We're-
the snare.
wait. No, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm just letting Bert and Ernie know. Put on your safety vest because I'm gonna rough you up a bit. All right, buddy. All love, but I'm gonna rough you up a bit. You need it.
Okay, so I don't like the snare that much or at all, honestly, and I feel like it was lacking in like sub. And that sustain in the second drop was not it.
The sustain caught me off guard like crazy.
Yeah,
That shit
yeah.
fucking pierced my
But
fucking ear.
yeah, that's my 2 cents. Devin, take it away.
So first off, I went on this insane rant the other day. Well, it wasn't insane; it was justified because I'm always right. About how rhythm just needs to evolve from the days of having no intro. Even something as simple as the Yasuo da na 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 melody would suffice here. It just gives you something to look forward to. You want to make a song, not a drop. That's the most important part of songwriting. But beyond that, I think the samples were just too much of it going on. Like, you're trying to use the samples to carry the track and give it an identity, where the track itself should have an identity through, leads, plucks, chords, etc. The main synth wasn't terrible. It's a tad flat, and it also changes the way it's processed. It sounds like I'm listening to it through the other room. Like, it sounds like I'm listening. Like, it sounds like you're producing in your bedroom, and I'm in the bathroom in the hallway trying not to listen to this. That being said, I do like how every 8 to 16 bars, and so on, you do try to add new elements. But I think the elements that you did add were just haphazardly thrown in for the sake of change, and I don't think there was much thought behind them, and not much thought to what value they were adding to the track, because every layer in here just seems to be just random. The melody that you're trying to attempt with I think the half notes don't really go anywhere. There's nothing to hold on to, and that sustain, dude, oh my god, it's god awful. Get rid of that. Holy shit, get rid of that sustain. But I do admire that it sounds like you tried to make all of these sounds yourself. I think there's what's it called, notoriety to that. But what I would recommend for you is to don't really try to make songs where all the sounds are yours just yet. I don't think you're ready for that. I would love to hear you play with a bunch of sample packs and just try to recreate your favorite songs. until you get a better grasp on, songwriting. Also, those hats are fucking horrible.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop in here. I think so. I think the biggest issue with like how this song works right now, it sounds like there's like a really overblown limiter on the master right now, which might be the reason why the snare, or maybe it's like a snare kick or something like that, is like really getting washed out. It's like this is like one of those instances where I feel like obviously there's like some growing pains that's happening in the track, but I think the way my brain is, so like the first thing I would do if you have anything on the master, just take it off, just because like right, like as far as producing goes, like especially when you're really getting into it, like mastering stuff is like all near impossible, like when you're starting out, because it's to the way, hold on, let me think of the words to say properly. Like when it comes to mastering, it's really a like something to put on at the very end when your track is like completely mixed down and really solid, and you just want to like give it a little extra oomph. And I find that it's not as prevalent nowadays, but like it's really easy to fall into a trap when you're first starting to produce of like, oh, I have to master this. Ooh, I have to put this on this because this producer told me to do exactly that, and like go by hard and fast rules. When reality, like a lot of like music production is sort of figuring a lot of stuff out yourself, but also like taking new information in and seeing what works for you. That being said, I think so that's just with the snare. I think like personally, like either there's a really aggressive limiter on the master or on just the snare that's causing it to sound really washed out. Um, I would say like the first thing I would do for this sort of track, like I think it's a rhythm tune, so you should just be using a kick clap. It's gonna sound better, and it's a lot easier to sound. It'll be more authentic, like as far as the style goes. And it's also a lot easier to get a kick clap sounding good than a snare, and also having the snare fit, because that's its own can of worms. As far as like the rest of the track goes, I think the basses are extremely dry. Like the which is very high contrast to everything else, because the vocal samples have extreme reverb on it. So much like I want to flip flop the bass and the reverb, like the bass and the vocals as far as like the effects on it goes, because the vocals are louder than the basses. They have way more like tails and everything than any of the basses. And then when you get to the drop, it's like the basses themselves are not compressed enough. They don't have enough like stereo width. They're completely like mono mid signal. Like if you were to turn on like just turn off the sides, any like stereo width for the song, like the basses would probably sound exactly the same, at least the way I'm hearing it. So I'd say the best thing you could do, like, but the thing is, it's like the basses in this track, I thought were actually good. Like I like the basses. The issue really comes to like the execution of all of it. Like the sort of melody that was happening in the second bass that was introduced didn't really work. There was like, even though like the intro was like ambient and atonal technically, there's still some like horns that were like interesting but like are clashing with the melody of the other tune. And so you're having this like you're having a lot of issues spring up as a result. But like what I would essentially do, I would just honestly like the best way to like fix this track up would probably just be stay in like one note for the drop at least. If you want to keep everything as is. What else? Yeah, like I can go on about like the screech and the hats and everything like that. I think like the best thing you can do to help fix this track up is really try to simplify it. As far as the intro stuff goes, you can even like go on to like type in Serum Free Arpeggiator or go to Cymatic's website and see if you can like find an intro there that you can throw into either Ableton FL or whatever DAW you use, and just mess around with that intro and see if you can make that work in this song. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can overall like improve this track, so not only it's like more listenable but just elevate it, and that should be the one thing you're looking to do. As far as like also like making the basses sound a little bit wider or a little bit more filled out, like if you just like if you throw a convolver onto just the bass, like, and high cut the convolver and mess around with the settings of it, you could probably get it sounding a lot cleaner and a lot less rigid. Because right now it doesn't sound like there's any stereo width to any of the basses. So, like, whether it's Ableton Convolver, Fruity Convolver, or the Kilohertz Convolver, all those would be good options. Just, like, mess around with those settings and see if you can get, like, some more interesting effects to the basses. And then just route that with your sub, put an OTT instance on it, adjust the dry wet a little bit, adjust the gain, and try to make it just sound more full, and it'll probably sound a lot better than that. As far as the hi-hats, just like literally just do a 4x4 hi-hat. Just like find like I'll say this right now. Shout out Ominous. Go just download the Ominous Avant sample pack. Just download that. There's like hi-hat loops in there. Just throw those in and find one that like sort of works, and then riff off that. Like there is a time and a place for doing everything yourself, but like at least to me, I don't know how long Burden's been going at it, but like it seems like this is very much just sort of dipping your toes into like making dubstep, and there's a whole learning process, and like there's a mountain you have to climb, and like it's worth climbing, because like it'll be really fulfilling once you can like actualize your ideas. But until then, it's going to be a little bit of grind, but you can do it. Sorry if that was like a really long-winded description, but like I feel like there's a lot you could like dissect with this, and at the end of the day, like everyone's trying to improve, so hopefully this will help you improve as well.
Do you have a Patreon too?
No.
Damn, you should start one. I feel like
I actually do offer lessons, but like a lot of the times I just rarely, like, I'm very kept to myself, so I don't really post too much about it.
Damn, yeah. That's some fucking free advertising for your lessons right there. We'll advertise it for you.
Yeah, put big bold flashing letters. Uber does lessons.
I got something big bold and black for you, buddy.
Oh my god! All right, we got Clayface up next. Paid $25 to skip the line.
$25, dude. Give me $25 to fuck.
You could give me $1.50 for Costco hot dog. How about that?
Bro, Max, I've been getting $30 for fucking food like every other stream. Don't fuck up the market, my nigga. Like,
dude, hold on. Give me 2 Costco hot dogs. How about that?
He's coming in and undercutting your prices.
I'm just bringing it down. I'm bringing it. Everyone loves a Costco hot dog. Why not 2?
Damn, making a good point there. That's 2 drinks, 2 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Bokies, B3.
Wait, I think I know where the Yo sampling's from. How about that? Now that is the second intro. I'm pretty sure that Yo samples from the Cymatics Mock sample pack.
Is it, Clay?
That's just my guess though. It sounds really similar. I also like using that sample pack. It's pretty funny. Oh, that's electronic, never mind. My bad. It was a Subfiltronic by the producer sample pack. It's I like using that Yo sample though. It's fun.
He wasn't gonna get any sleep if he didn't figure that one out.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I needed to. I have my FO open.
Hey man, I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you for it, baby. I ain't mad at you for it. Okay, so Clay, the synth work and the flow, I absolutely love this. This is a different style than what you usually show us, so big kudos on that. Yeah. I only really have one piece of advice, and it's like, dude, the tonality of the sub, I like it, but holy shit, the mids are just so fucking apparent in the mix. Like, the loudest thing in this song to me was the fucking high mids of your sub, right? So it's like, bro, it was louder than all the synths, and like, yeah, there was a cool melody with the sub that was, you know, that everything else was following, but like, I just couldn't focus on anything else but how loud that sub was. I just want your synths to be louder. Because on the second drop, when you bring those higher pitched synths in, they're just really getting drowned out by the, like, everything's getting drowned out by the sub, especially those higher synths that you brought in.
So I'm going to throw in a little contrast, and sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to throw in a little contrast opinion over there. Like, I feel like this, like, the sub, like, as far as like the upper harmonics go, it sort of works. Like, I don't necessarily have a way to analyze it like on hand, but like as far as the upper harmonics of the sub goes, I feel like it works with how high cut the bass is, but that might just be a preference thing. Go ahead, Devin.
No, I was gonna say I like the tonality of it. It's just too loud for me personally. I want the synths to be louder than the sub, and the sub was just the loudest thing in the song.
I am bipartial when it comes to like how loud a like bass is compared to the sub. I think the main thing for me personally is how well glued together and how just how full it sounds. And you can definitely have a full sound where the bass is louder than the sub and vice versa. And like Hall is like the perfect example of someone who has their subharmonics really carrying the whole like weight of the tune, whereas like a more recent example, like the hold on, I don't want to butcher it, the Star Wars
Model Nodes,
yeah, Modal Nodes and Rebo Band. It's like both of those. It's like very much like very leveled out as far as like basses and sub goes. It's not too like no one element is louder than the other. But one thing you do want to avoid is when like your sub bass is substantially louder than when your bass is substantially louder than the sub bass. That can be pretty rough. But do you have anything else to say, Devin? Sorry.
No, that was it.
Okay. I'm gonna throw like so I think the most interesting thing of the track, like the flow is good and everything, but for me there's like pretty much the highlights of the track were just whenever like there was a new sound incorporated. And I think the biggest issue that I currently have with how this song is structured, like the mixdown's good, intro's like very like serviceable, and there's no like real nitpick I could give as far as mix down goes, but my I think this is might go into a point where it's like it might not be worth saying this, but it's just like because the song's clearly done. It's pretty much done at this point. But what I would personally like to hear out of this is just like some more variation. Like there isn't any melodies really incorporated into the drop at all. There's not even like it sounds like there isn't even like a note change. It is very much just atonal rhythm uh through the bass and sub bass going, which is totally fine. That is definitely a-okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to hear a bit more variation with either basses or just like changing like some note change, like even just like a little sub pitch that you could do, a little sub sweep or something that you could do in the track just to give a little bit of variation, because right now it really sort of all blends together, and there isn't really like any memorable moments besides like slight rhythm changes or little like the 2 or 3 sounds that are introduced like for like a split second. And I personally just want to hear a little bit more of variation in the song.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. The Sharks even said that in the chat a bit, where it like drags on a
The
bit.
second drop drags on a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's not even necessarily the second drop. Like I think the best way to think, well, at least the way I think about, like writing a dubstep drop is like you kind of have to be a little ADD with it and like really incorporate, like try to incorporate new elements to sort of tickle the listener's brains, and you can do that through a lot of different ways. Like the easiest way would just be like have a call and response with your basses, and like for example, even though he's not a dubstep producer, I feel like Simula is like one of the kings when it comes to call and response with basses, because quite literally it's very formanty, very vocally sort of basses where you could have or something like that. But just like having that little variation, just like even though it's really simple, your brain like recognizes that it's like, oh, there's something like it's there's a conversation to be had like within the song, and like you could get more like that might be more philosophical than I should be getting for a dubstep track, but like it is something to keep in mind. And you could like that happens with melodies all the time, and you definitely can incorporate that with basses. And that could just be something you can think of, whether or not you want to release this as is, continue working on it, maybe make a VIP, I don't know, but like just something to have in mind when you're writing a song. You're like, okay, I got this one thing and it's really dialed in, it's really good, but can I go further? Can I go further than beyond? No, but yeah, that's just something you can just all like keep in mind whenever writing, which is easier said than done. But otherwise, great job, good track, very very solid.
Hell yeah. All right, Base Galaxy, I see you donated twice to get to the front of the line. We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
Everyone's cutting everyone.
He wants to be glazed.
These niggas got money today.
String Decay V4.
Okay, look, I know Black History Month ended, but I'm going first, niggas. This song sounds like I was listening to a Vulture track and someone came up with a fucking napkin filled with chloroform and was like, shh, it'll be over soon.
Funny.
This is Vulture on ketamine, but also Vulture is one of the most god tier producers that ever graced dubstep. So I mean that in a compliment. So this is good. A little slow for my taste when it comes to these sounds, but I understand that it's just a preference thing, and I fuck with it.
Yeah, I like this tune a lot. It's different, but it has such a weird, like, unique, like, feeling to it, and like, I don't know, I like it, and I like that really dark piano melody you have at the beginning and at the end. It really like sets like the tone and theme of the tune.
Damn, Voltra, I wasn't familiar with the game. Is great. That's great. As far as like my feedback on that goes, like the one thing I was thinking with the whole piano melody, I really like it, but like I wanted to hear like a space, like a quarter bar like space in between for like the like as a variation for one of the piano like for one of the portions of the piano melody because it was dun 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 dun. Like I wanted to hear like maybe at the fourth iteration of it, like dun 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 dun, something like that. Like just like create a little bit of suspense in the melody by just like skipping like a quarter of a bar or something like that, or maybe half of a bar. So like just like create a little bit more suspense because it's a really suspenseful track, and like having that as a little bit of a variation can be really effective. As far as my only like I really like the track. It's very like very Voltra-y as far as the sound design, which is like unique because not very many people can do that. And but the one thing I was noticing in the B section, the second bass that came in, I felt like was really was not nearly as defined as the main bases from the first section. So what I was thinking is it would be really nice contrast to have something really distorted and crunchy to like complement the really clean and smooth basses you're having throughout. So like the first thing my brain's going to is like Fusion Core, like Barely Alive and Voltra, which is like one of my favorite dubstep tracks of all time. I would like try to reference that and like try to make yourself like some really like some OTT like growl basses or something like that, or just like try to really get a overcompressed, really saturated, lots of high end sort of bass to complement the super smooth sound, and it'll give you some great contrast in the track. But like, and if you like how that idea goes, like you can maybe throw that in the first drop, maybe keep that to the second drop. Other than that, I think like I really enjoy how this track progresses. But like those are my only two like notes. Other than that, I've enjoyed it.
Fuck yeah. Kills pretty much fucking anything he sends in.
Yeah, I do think Bass Galaxy is one of the best producers right now, and I think part of that is due to his versatility. Like every I guess subgenre, subcategory of dubstep you dip your hands into, like you fucking nail it. So
yeah,
just work on your fucking brand.
Like,
branding is very difficult, but like yeah. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say he always goes so hard on like his different fucking artwork and stuff too. Like it works, it's Bass Galaxy and shit, but yeah, being Bass Galaxy.
Bass Galaxy is just
so
a bad
hard.
name.
It's
you're
so
such a good
hard.
you're such a good producer with the worst. I can do that. I can fucking do that, actually, motherfucker.
Hold on.
I'll be in town. I'll be in town tomorrow, nigga. You want me to parade you around? You want me to parade you around? I'll fucking do that. You're one of us, nigga. I will do that for you, motherfucker. But just, you gotta trust me. You have a bad name. You make good music. I love you.
I will say, you can definitely get very far with a bad name, speaking from personal experience. But you did, like, as far as branding stuff goes, the one thing you have to really, like, think of is, like, when it comes to music, like, you very much create what you're passionate about, and when it comes to branding, a lot of that I feel like is lost for a lot of people. But you should just try to incorporate stuff that you're passionate about. Like, there's literally people whose whole brand is smoking weed because they like smoking weed. So if you like smoking weed, shit, put a fucking marijuana symbol in the Saturn.
What the fuck is that, Jacoby? What the fuck is that, Jacoby? What is that?
What is Jacoby?
I don't know what Jacoby is.
Who the fuck is Jacoby?
Oh wait,
But,
are you
like-
talking about the nigga from Papa Roach? He be saying that shit?
Isn't his name Jacoby?
Oh, I don't know, nigga.
He said Google
Jacoby.
him, nigga. Why would... Alright, now I gotta
All
Google
right.
who the fuck
Okay.
Jacoby
Go
is.
ahead, Google Jacoby.
Up next, we got Smileys.
Oh, okay. I know this nigga.
A little fan service, I like it.
This is bootleg.
This nigga.
Yes. Great vocal sample.
Oh.
I've been won over. Oh, the bleeping over, like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure you would, Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up, Cam. Jesus, fuck. Stand up, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So, Smileys, the drop, the texture, the drums, I pretty much like everything about this track. The only thing I don't like is the fact that it's a Bellissimo bootleg. I think Bellissimo, the synth work is just so fucking iconic. You have to write the bootleg around that synth work, sadly. Because, like, yes, the Bellissimo voice line in of itself is very iconic, but beyond that, that song doesn't have an intro. So what stands about the Bellissimos is the blah 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 blah. And even hearing that layered with your synths that you have going on, I felt like would have been more true to what Bellissimo is. So I would just like to hear this either, layer this with the original elements of the drop of Bellissimo, or just turn this into an original tune. Also, sorry, last thing, I would like to hear a Jub-esque drum flow on this, because just the standard drum flow here got kind of boring for me.
Yeah, like, for me, like, I'm pretty much like fully in love with the Bellissimo Double VIP, so it's like hearing any flow besides that, it's going to be a tough sell for me. But yeah, like, kind of just riffing off of what Devin said, it's like there's no real issues with the song itself. Like, the only thing you could really, like, I would personally point out, I'm just like, there's just one synth going, and it's in a quarter note pattern, and there doesn't seem to be a ton of variation in there. But yeah, there's also not a lot connecting it to actual Bellissimo besides the vocal, which, granted, great vocal, love the vocal. But yeah, even, like, you could even try, like, ripping some of the bases from Bellissimo and trying to incorporate it in the track, or like layer it under it, or something. But like right now, as far as the inspiration of Bellissimo, it just like it doesn't seem like there's much like connecting it at the moment, which is there's a lot in there that you could like use. So maybe like just try to get another session going in and see like what can I incorporate, what can I do to variate, or like like another way you could do is like you could try to like emulate the flow of one of the Bellissimo like or either the original, the VIP, or the double VIP, and like try to incorporate that in so it's more familiar.
Fuck yeah.
Again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to use this as a DJ tool, but this is a feedback stream, nigga.
Yeah,
so you gonna get some fucking feedback, nigga.
Yeah. It's like actually. Actually.
Alright. Next up, we got DJ.
You can't ask niggas for their motherfucking opinion and then step back when you get it.
Yeah. Not to be offensive, but this is like I meant to be retarded. This was all part of my plan.
This is all
part of my diabolical.
All right, Max, I wasn't expecting that one.
That was just.
All right, next up we got DJ No Lemons, aka No Limit Soldier, aka.
Smileys, I feel like I've been giving you your credit, man, where it's due. I just want you to find your own sound, which is easier said than done. But like I've been saying, your actual sound design, flow, usage of drums, like it's all been great. I just want you to sound like you.
Yeah, you
instead of sounding like Ophion.
Hey, everyone wants to sound like Ophion.
Hey,
nobody wants to look like Ophion.
Oh no,
nigga.
I mean, why would you? Devil's Mind V5.
Hold on, I don't know what Ophion looks like. I need
Does
context. Hold on, pause it.
He looks like a lesbian in a failed relationship.
But I want to see it.
Wait, JT, can you pull up a picture of Ophion's stupid fucking face and just put it like?
Please, JT. I need
His picture is on the Dono link. If you're on your,
if
you're watching this on your on browser, not mobile, when you click on the Dono link, that's Ophion's face.
He doesn't look bad. Me? Am I ugly?
No, Max.
My fucking god.
Oh my god, we all need to hang out. Ugh.
Yeah, he literally looks like me. What the hell? Fucked up.
All right.
Go easy on me. I'm fragile and I sit when I pee. Well, stand up, nigga. What?
Stand up, bro.
Why would you admit that? Come on.
Bro's tired. He just
Bro,
got done.
At least tuck it in and fucking pee backwards, nigga. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
he's like, I sit down when I pee after I do 325 for 5 on the bench press. It's like, oh. Oh, okay. Got you.
My fault. Didn't understand.
Hey, bro, I can't even lift 325.
Goose, you were too damn tall to be sitting while you piss, bro.
All right.
am I like? Was
So
it
this
a
sounded
drum
like
bass?
two different songs.
Was it a
Sounded
drum
like-
bass first?
It sounded like the BPM definitely dropped.
No. So,
No,
the intro is in a different BPM than the actual like the melody of the intro is literally in a different BPM than the actual song. But I could have sworn it was like drum bass. JT, can you actually scrub it back to the first drop? I literally can't. Okay, it was just like for a second I just was hallucinating. I thought it was like trying to do like drum bass, but is it like? Could you send me this song? Like I feel okay. So a lot of times, like when I get feedback, like I've just gotten very comfortable with. I'll share my screen and just go through everything. For feedback, we're giving like extremely dialed in because I want to see what's going on.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'll just get mine out of the way. It's very simple. Max is going to give you the technical feedback that I could never give you, especially because Max is someone that does 4/4 songs very well. The problem I'm having with this tune is I love the fact that you're trying new things throughout the entirety of the song. I do feel like all these different ideas and concepts are a tad rushed, and you've taken what could be 4, maybe even 5 ideas or 5 songs worth of ideas and kind of just smushed them into one. So I would let these ideas breathe and maybe turn them into different projects.
Yeah.
But there's also a bunch of technical stuff. I could tell you about the mix down and all that, but Max is going to do a way better job.
All right.
Yeah, the
so,
second
caveat.
drop sounds.
I'm gonna-
my bad.
I'm gonna have to deafen myself because I'm gonna be recording this via Audacity. There's no download link, so go for it.
Yeah, so like the second drop sounds like a completely different tune, and the drums in the second drop sound way better than they do in the first drop, and it also sounds like the intro, like the build-up drums are off or something. Like it
There's
doesn't.
a different BPM. The intro and the drop are a different BPM. I've got no clue why you've done that.
Okay.
Undo that.
Undo that. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this.
JT, would you like to speak? I'm so sorry, man.
No.
You haven't gotten to talk at all this tune.
No, it's all good. That tune just it confused me. It felt like a mix of like fucking 2 or 3 different tunes all together. Like, I think the idea that I liked the best was that second drop. If I'm being honest, like it was the grooviest, the catchiest, and like felt like you had the most cohesive idea.
This song felt like to me that I'm done for real. Like I took a bump of coke, right, at an after party that I did not want to be at, but like this girl that I'm trying to like seal a deal with really wants to go to this after party before we go back to my hotel. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I'll go hang out for an extra hour or 2. I take a bump of coke there because I want to be cool. I don't want to kill the party. And then I'm just like, next thing I know, 30 minutes goes by and my heart's just racing and I'm on the floor. I'm like, oh my god, I don't think that was coke, dude. The fuck was that? That's what listening to this song made me feel like.
And yeah, if you guys want more detailed feedback, obviously send a download link. He's going in.
Okay.
That's like perfect timing.
I got it downloaded. I'm going to export as wave. Hold on. Let me know if.
Oh, it wasn't coke or ketamine. It was a third, more sinister thing.
I think it's 160. It drops at 48. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to like open up virtual DJ because I don't know what BPM it is. So let me first throw this in, and shoot, where is my Audacity folder?
Oh, Nate. 5 more gifted subs.
Nate also wanted to listen to that Nair tune again, but I don't know if he was just spending his money for the sake of spending it, or like, or if he actually wanted to listen to it again. Yeah, dude, virtual DJ is where we all start, or at least most of us.
Virtual DJ is quite decent. It does all the things I want it to do. Okay. It's saying 110. I was way off. Okay, so this is mid-tempo. And where... Okay, so can you hear this?
Oh, wait.
Gotta bring up your stream.
Oh. Yeah.
Y'all are getting in the DAW feedback right now. Like,
Can you hear this?
Hey.
I
Okay,
have
look.
to full screen it on the
Uber may not have a Patreon up, but if this nigga plays a town or a show in your town, y'all better pull the fuck up because man's is taking this shit where no other guest has taken it before.
Wait,
so you thank him and you stream his music. What was your latest release, bro? I should know that, but I'm a bad friend.
It's a Space Wizard remix.
Go stream his Space Wizard remix right fucking now. On all your platforms, put it up on your iPhone, your laptop, your mom's iPhone, all that shit, nigga.
KT, you might have to full screen his stream and cover our faces on the TV overlay.
Okay. So, all right, 110 BPM.
Yeah, there you go.
So the thing that's like the most wacky is where this kick comes in. The kicks are actually just off beat. I don't understand that. This is on beat, or no, it's not. I can't tell what's going on with those vocals. Like this, I don't know if it's a sample or not, but it's like... I mean, I guess that works there. It's just like, I think the base issue with one of this, like, the intro, this kick comes in the weirdest spot. There's no, like, cymbals or anything to really, like, ground you through this. So I'm just going to, like, I already have the Subfiltronic pack up, so I'll just use whatever, like, whatever we got over here and just do some sort of, like, grounding, like... With how this either vote like sample or loop or whatever is going on, it's very what's the word? It doesn't have like a good way, like anything to ground you on. It's like it's a triplet in 110, which is is it a double note? I don't know if it's like in key. Hold on, let's hear how this sounds with just. Yeah, I think this whole thing is like out of sync with the BPM. So that's an issue with itself, which sounded like this case. Like I noticed when the kick came in, like when we were listening to it, I just didn't know where we were BPM wise. And which is, don't want to toot my own horn. Usually I can figure out like where I am, like when it comes to tracks. It's like, oh, that's a drum bass track. Ooh, that's like a mid-tempo track. Ooh, that's a like house tune. Like it's real with how this song was arranged, it was very difficult to figure out where you are BPM wise. And you could say it's like, oh, that's a benefit because you wouldn't know what to expect. The problem is it's going to just make everything harder for you to, as far as like making a track goes. Like this build is not doing it for me personally. It's like it's just extremely hectic. There's no, besides the fact that there's like a noise and everything's speeding up, there's no real indicator of what we're building into. It's just everything's going faster now. Like all these kicks are in beat, but it's just like there's not really anything else of substance going on. I actually kind of like this section right here where it's but I would personally just cut this. This part's not doing it. We're just gonna repeat this one. Okay, so here's the issue with this. This does not work as a 110 tune. Like there's no sub. I'm pretty sure there's no sub bass to this. Like it sounds like. Yeah, I can see right here. There's no like defined sub bass, so I'm gonna route this to an EQ. Yeah, as you see, there's in this region right here, there's absolutely no sub bass. We're gonna open up Edison and figure out the key if it's gonna register that.
No, sub bass isn't real. It doesn't
Nope,
exist.
no registered key. So what we could do if
Sub
we
bass
wanted to
isn't
try.
real.
I think Odd Prophet's mad at me because I yelled at him for trying to ruin my favorite holiday, which is 9/11.
That is one of America's favorite holidays.
Isn't that Azadi's birthday, dude?
He was like, if anyone makes 9/11 jokes and you don't get mad at them, you can never get mad at me again. I'm English. And I was like, listen here, motherfucker.
So here's the first thing that should have been done.
I'm English.
I'm going to high cut this bass to like 280 or something. The problem is like it's just a very not defined sound. Like it just sounds like noise. There's no real definition with the sound, and like there's some issues with the sound to begin with. But the bare minimum, like high cut this bass and add a dedicated sub layer. And to make a dedicated sub layer, we are going to open up Serum and introduce a sine wave. Turn up this, turn up this. It'll be serviceable for what we're doing. I can't tell what key this is in for the bass, which is a problem because of how noisy it is. So we're just going to try to figure out. I'm going to hope that the track was kept in key with the sample. So we're going to try to find the pitch region of this C sharp. That's good enough for me. I'll take it. And all you have to do to make this a serviceable bass tune
We can't
is
see the
incorporate a sub note into it. You're just incorporating the sub note. That is all. Behold, I've introduced sub bass to the track. So without
Uber, press F max, press F12. Chat say press F12.
F12.
So they can see.
Oh, that's not gonna. Yeah. Hold on. Everything. Yeah, that just closed everything out. It should be showing. Hold on. Yeah, it's showing all of the.
Okay,
it doesn't show Serum. When you open Serum, it doesn't show Serum. Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
yeah. Oh, well, that's fine. I essentially put a sine wave and like use the default low pass filter and turn the drive and the fat up like to 11 clock region. So there's your descriptor for what I did. It is quite literally just nothing special like with this subwave. Like it sounds so much better just with the sub bass. And this is why this snare sounds crazy. Because there's no sub. Like, if we just incorporate, like, a sub bass into this, at least blends, like, granted, there's, like, no high cut on this right now. Now we're introducing a new problem because I can't high cut only the song because I'm working with just the stem of the track, or, like, just the actual song as it was rendered out. But so that's an issue in its own. This is essentially a Moombahton tune. So that's like structured as if it was a dubstep tune. So there's an issue in there in itself. As far as drums go in a Moombahton tune, like it's tough. Like the only thing I would actually probably just take out this kick right here. Like, it is. It needs like more spacing or something. Like at this point, I don't like the bass right here. There's a lot of issues with this track. The snare is overblown. There's no sub bass in the song. Uh, the the intro is out of like it's not even the same BPM. The sounds are like I'd say there's like some serviceable sounds in here, but it doesn't fit the style at all of like a mid-tempo tune. Like for a mid-tempo tune, you probably would want more like some like sustains or something like that rather than quarter notes. And if you were doing quarter notes, you would probably want to like do a melody. Like this is like I can't really describe it like without being super mean, but
Do it. This is what they paid
Do
for.
it. Yeah. He
They
paid
wanna-
for this.
They want to hear the
hold on. I need to pull up the Res song. There's a Res song that this like actually sounds like. Let me. And obviously, no disrespect to Res, but I'm just not a big fan of this song personally. Okay. Oh yes, Res Selector. We finally managed to make a worse song than Res Selector because
Oh my god.
this is the same sort of flow as Res Selector, where it's just a quarter note that's just like happening throughout the track. But the only difference between this song and Res Selector is Res Selector goes down like a semitone and variates the basses. Like this is not like this doesn't have a very clear. This doesn't have a clear bass. Like there's no high cuts going on, and even if I do high cut it and introduce a sub bass, it still sounds messy. Like you would have to literally like Vocodex clears the sub like a little bit, but I wouldn't like that's better, but like is it good? No, I think that there's a lot of structural issues. I don't feel like this works as a mid-tempo tune. And if you wanted to do this as a mid-tempo tune, you would have to like really rework the drums to where it's completely different than what you're currently working with. Like
Right.
like you would do probably something like this. I think the kick is actually layered onto the snare one. Which why is there? The snare is just really overblown. That's what it is. Like, all right, if we go look into where this is the snare. There's no defining features. It's just like the craziest 200 hertz with a little bit of noise at the beginning. Like the craziest 200 hertz fundamental you'd ever heard, and with a little bit of noise at the beginning. There's just like a lot of issues with the song. Like the drums need work, the basses need to be cleaned up, the intro is out of beat, which is very bizarre. There's no grounding like feature like it's you just need to do that. Kick clap, and then all you have to do is just little hi-hats. It's like
Remade the song for you.
I want to help people improve. Why can't we just do that? I mean, like obviously this is not like rocket science over here, but yeah, that I'm going to give myself a hernia or something if I keep going. I will do like some more like song breakdowns, but there's just a lot more than like I think this this song in particular has way more to unearth than just that. And it would be a disservice if we did like dedicate this entire stream to just this song. But,
yeah, and there's like 30 other niggas waiting too.
yeah, people are waiting. Like,
Next up, we got
what-
Lysurgics.
yeah, watch some YouTube video tutorials. Like, just watch them. I don't know which ones. Just go watch videos.
All right.
Oh, dude, we love Uber.
Get down. Get down. Lysurgics.
Yeah, Lysurgics, wake up. Wait, no, he was
Get your
complaining
hand-
about his saggy balls, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, get your hand out of your pants and wipe the drool off your mouth, asshole. You're up. I almost said a slur right there. They're literally on Twitch.
Also, reduce your ball sag.
What? Ball sag?
Yeah.
Talking about, she's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down north, west, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down north, west, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down north, west, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down.
Wait, pause this. Didn't we listen to this already? Didn't he send this in, or am I getting deja vu for some reason?
I think
I
you
feel
get
like.
deja vu
second.
from his other tune.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, fuck it.
Second.
Yeah, but niggas be re-uploading shit. You know what I mean?
Northwest, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down. Northwest, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down. Northwest, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down. Northwest, east, south. You know what I'm talking about. She's all that you're seeing now. Yeah, she knows how to get down. Down, left and right. Right.
Sick, dude. Honestly, that was like the best mixed tune you've sent. And I've always been a fan of your stuff, you know what I mean? I always just felt like there's like this weird fuzziness to the mix downs and all of your tunes before. But this one, everything's nice and clean and precise. I do hear what Shark's saying. Like my brain didn't instantaneously go to Isaiah, which is good because it sounds like the evolution of Lysurgics, the cough medicine, right? Now you're for cough and flu and headache. You've evolved. Good job. But once I kind of zoned in on it, it did sound like, the vocal chops I feel very Sora-esque, but the drop is very you. So this is sick. I have no notes. This is dope. This is for the hoes. For the hoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'd love this one.
I like that he's making ass shakers recently.
Dude, I
Yeah.
feel like ever since I told you niggas to start making music with hoes in mind, y'all have been doing it, and I'm so proud, bro. Me bringing the hoes back to dubstep because I was at fucking EDC, Mexico, and this is important, so pay attention. And I was at Dom Dollar, right? Saw the most beautiful girls of my fucking life, and then it hit me, and I'm like, hey yo. Why are we dubstep niggas always fucking arguing over the dumbest shit? Oh, whose Star Wars song is next? Oh, this fool stole my arpeggiator. And like everyone in the house is like, bro, that's bitchless behavior. Y'all need to shut the fuck up and dance with some women, bro. And it's just like, nigga, why are we not doing that? So
Online arguing with other dudes. Trying
yeah,
to
we sit here arguing. We sit here
dudes.
arguing with dudes, bro,
Yeah.
instead of dancing with beautiful women. And I will not stand for it any longer.
Points made.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is a sick tune.
Go for it.
Like it has that Cosmic Meadow vibe, like just like a party vibe, and I like that. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, super solid tune. Like as far like I can't really think of anything like that necessarily needs to be improved, but as far as like the assignment goes, you've definitely nailed it. Like it's super solid. There's no issues within the mix. Everything's coming out very clear, and like at the end of the day, that is very solid. I will say, like, you're definitely at that production level where you could try to like consider like having some sort of signature move in your sounds. And right now, I think like if I were to give a criticism, is I couldn't necessarily like there. If someone had to tell me like what tune this was and who it was from, I wouldn't know. Well, granted, it's like everyone's still like for the most part coming up and like figuring everything out, but it the one thing that you could definitely do to like it's such a silly thing to say, but it's like try to figure out like something that you enjoy that you could really incorporate that isn't heard in the current like EDM sphere, because like it's not a problem, but the one thing this track could use is some flair. The song is really solid. It's very good. If you were to play this out live, people would like it. But it needs some sort of identifier in the song. And that would probably be the only real feedback I can get, because otherwise, like, this track is phenomenal how it is currently structured.
Hell yeah.
I feel like for me, as far as like criticism goes, it's just like everyone's at like a different level, so everyone needs like different level of criticism, and like there's not really too much to critique because everything with this track is extremely good. Like I would like if I made something like this, I would be hyped, but like that's the only thing I can think of. Like it there, and to be fair, it's like most people never even get like a unique sound going in their entire like throughout a career, and it's like I personally even struggle with that, so it's one of those things to keep in mind. It's like, how can I put my own flavor to this?
Hell yeah. Up next, we got Fever Dreams. I always fucking knew you as the space pig squeal guy before. That's how I knew it was an Uber tune.
The original pig squeal guy was Invictus, though. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, Violence, Fever Dreams. Oh, also, you're a brand new the first time submitter. What all you do? How long you been doing it? Type it in chat while we listen.
Are drowning in sweat. Feels like I'm born again, a different kind of born again. This rage consumes me. I'm bound to get
Pause it real quick.
Yeah, I know what I was gonna say. Yeah.
You don't know what I'm gonna say. I was gonna say, hey, for all you fucking metalcore fans out there, I just want you to know that this is how Kill Switch Engage sounds to me.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something like I think that's like an AI vocal.
Well, that too, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Unleash this violence.
This does sound like Kill Switch.
For everyone who's come between everything that you've ever wanted.
EDM Creed? You mean Sullivan King?
Stop.
What's the slight vocal?
Everything that you've ever wanted.
This really does sound like an early 2000s metalcore song. This sounds like it would have been on the Resident Evil movie soundtrack.
This would have did numbers in 2014.
Do you mind if I chime in first?
No, go
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so I
Mind.
feel like the
No, I'm
song
kidding.
like really drags on for a bit longer than it has to. Like especially like that 2 minute to like 3 minute section where it kind of just like has this kick, like triplet kick that's going on for what feels like forever. I feel like that should be just like chopped in half just right there because it just seems to drag on really long. I the my biggest issue is I can't tell if it's AI vocals or not,
He
and
said
like
shameless splice.
He said he got it
vocals.
from Splice.
it's Splice. Okay, the Splice vocals might be AI. It sounds like there's art, like it might be Discord, but so far it hasn't like I haven't noticed any sort of artifacting from Discord. But it sounds like there's like it's some semi artifacting spliced like it sounds like it's AI vocals that someone just sold on Splice, which could very well be the case. I'm a big hater of Splice. I uninstalled that in like 2019. I think most people should, because like a lot of the samples are really suspect on there and are actually not copyright free. Just because there's people who like that. This is going to
Yeah.
go on a real tangent, like in itself, but there's like there's plenty of like samples that are flying around on Splice that are ripped from other tracks and aren't actually copyright free, or just like ripped from like really popular tracks, and you're not safe essentially if you pay for Splice from like copyright claims essentially. So that's pretty much the end of that rant. But it sounds like I can't tell if the intro is AI, and that's an issue in itself. The best thing I would probably try to do is like maybe try to incorporate like some sort of distortion to hide the like artifacting. Like if you use like a tube amp or like a Fab Filter Saturn or a Faturator sort of effect on the vocal, and really try to like really saturate it. Like granted you'll lose clarity, but you can try to like maybe just like it's an issue in itself, because if the vocal is AI, then you're going to have to do some cover up for it. And if it's not, I don't know what it is if it's not made like a bad recording, but it just sounds like there's artifacts on the high end, and you're going to have to like do some sort of distortion to incorporate that. The first drop doesn't have any variation besides like the sustain bass, and the sustain bass is good, but you need something more than that. As far as drum bass goes, I have a very particular affinity for like really spaced out kicks. When it comes to drum bass, I like usually doing like the jump up style, or like they're like even neuro like drum bass has like incorporated that, where it's like the kicks are in short succession, and then the snare is just carrying the track for the most of the song. Dev made a comment where it's like this would do numbers in 2014, and he's correct in that, where it sounds like somewhat dated. Like, and I know a lot of American like drum and bass kind of has that feel to it, and maybe that's just what's popular, but it's not what I prefer for drum bass, and it feels like a lot of the like European like drum bass artists uh definitely don't do that sort of style. So it might just be an American thing. Um which is totally fine, but it's not my preference at the end of the day. Uh the third drop just doesn't sound very good. Like that sort of FM screechy bass, like while the rhythm works decently well, it just there's no spacing, and there could be a lot more done with for how long this song is. You could like condense it to 2 minutes and like incorporate all those ideas and all those patterns and try to like put that all in one really condensed, really thought out track, and it probably would sound better. Just right now, it just feels like it goes on, and yeah. Also, like the snare probably could use like a little bit more, like have more interesting elements go on with it. Like you could probably add a convolver on top of it and really try to like shape the tone of the sound with like some like stretching modes. Um, I'm trying to think what else that I have from memory. That's probably just it. Like I don't know. I'm really picky with drum bass, and drum bass is a picky genre, so you have to be very critical when like looking at these sort of tracks.
Yeah, so when I made the comment, this would have did numbers in 2014, that wasn't really a dig at you at all. It's just that, to Max's point, this sounds very American D&B, right? Which, in of itself, isn't a bad thing. But myself, I'm going to keep making what's it called, references to what Max said, because I kind of feel like this because me and Max have been listening to bass music or dance music for a very long time. So when it comes to D&B, I'm very particular about the drums being used, and the drum samples themselves were just, again, very American. When I think D&B, I think like Camel Crooked, I think Mefuse, I think like softer, more acoustic sounding drums, and everything on this song just sounds so electronic, for lack of a better term, which leads me to my next point. I do like the songwriting from start to finish. And I actually don't mind how long this song is. It kind of reminds me, the song structure kind of reminds me of Knife Party back when they were in, their heyday. But what I was going to say is the guitars and the rock parts sound like they're processed like in like a dance music song. And I fucking hate that. I want to hear the electronic or the rock parts processed like a rock song, and then do the the D&B parts like the D&B parts. Because like I'm in a band, so like I can hear the difference in processing, and that's the kind of shit that drives me insane when I can tell things are just electronic that shouldn't be. And also too, the drop. This entire song kind of sounds like someone took a YouTube clip and put it on SoundCloud, and then someone took that SoundCloud and put it through anything to mp3.com and then ripped it. It sounds like a fucking 360 YouTube tune that was ripped in 144. So yeah, the mix sounds a bit rough, but I think the song itself is good. It reminds me of like the type of thing Skrillex would play back in the early 2010s. And it would be his one D&B tune that he played, and all the Americans would be like, "Oh my god, I love drum and bass." No, you don't.
Like,
but that doesn't make this. Sorry, but that doesn't make this a bad song. I just think it's very American.
Like when you were saying about the drums, like making them softer, like a really easy way to do that with your kick is literally just like go into your kick. If it has any processing on it, just go into the first instance of the chain. Just put a low pass filter on the kick and just remove some high end from the drums. That's like a really easy way to soften out your kicks. It sounds really simple, but it is, and it works. So try it. And like as far as the snare goes, like I said, like working with convolvers has been one of the biggest upgrade I've had production wise, and just like as far anything with like mid and high end on it, like anything with like any like as long what's the best way to phrase this? Anything with like a let me open up the fruity. I'd say 300 hertz up. Like if it as long as it's not like a definitive like sub bass or sub movement or something like that, 300 hertz and up, you should probably consider like throwing a convolver on for sound design purposes, just because like it's really interesting the sort of sounds you can get and the textures you can get out of it. And that applies for snares, that applies for hi-hats, that applies for basses, that applies for vocals, that applies for synths. Yeah, it's just something you could really easily incorporate, and the snare can use like a little bit more flavor, and that would be like my first recommendation.
Fuck yeah.
Next tune?
Next tune is Sarva. Get Busy remix. Final V2.
Once again, before we even see it, I fucking love the Sarva logo. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Sarva.
Oh, no, Sarva. That's where you're mistaken. You're not allowed to have fun.
Think this shit a game, nigga?
It's time to play the game!
It's now illegal to have fun. Sorry.
Shake that thing, miss. Can you shake that thing, miss? I'm gonna shake that thing. Yeah,
Well,
no.
this song hasn't dropped yet, and I already fucking hate it.
Can you shake that thing, miss? I'm gonna shake that thing. Yeah, no. Jody and Rebecca, woman, busy. Just say that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just keep swinging it, get jiggy. Get drunk, top, percolate anything you want to call it. Oscillate, but don't take pity. Want to see you get locked on the rhythm of my ride. I'm a lyrics of about electricity. Yeah, nobody can tell you nothing 'cause you don't know your destiny. Yo, sexy ladies want fabulous, you know the fabulous, you know fabulous. Tell them how they want fabulous again, fabulous and fabulous. So they want time to play, you know family.
Pause it. I hate you so inconceivably much. Not because of this is a bad tune. I hate that this works.
Yeah,
I hate you.
why does this work?
I hate you with every fiber of my being. I hate you more than my great-great-grandparents hate the fucking cotton gin. I hate you more than Elon Musk and fucking Nick Cannon hate condoms. But one thing I have to tell you, if this had a better mixdown, this would be the dance floor breaker of the year. All right, sorry, you can rewind it and play it.
Anything you want to call it, oscillate, but don't take pity. Want to see you get locked on the rhythm of my ride. I'm a lyrics of about electricity. Yeah, nobody can tell you nothing 'cause you don't know your destiny. Yo, sexy ladies want fabulous, you know the fabulous, you know fabulous. Tell them how they want fabulous again, fabulous and fabulous. So they want time to play, you know family, fame. It's all for God, till I feel on it, till I earn my girl, it's all good, just be on it. Don't stop it, don't rotate, come on, tell you what you know, you see this. I know it's a picture, you're what you're just doing it. Yo, one time, girl, put a mic on, put your this, I'm on it. Yo, you want another one, you're on with them, but yo, sexy ladies want fabulous, you know the fabulous, you know fabulous. So you know them all, fabulous, to get you fabulous, you know fabulous. So you want time to play, you're like family, and it's fame. It's all for God, till I'm turning on it, till I earn them all, girl, it's all good, just turn me on. Come on, get busy, just shake that booty non-stop when the beat drop, just keep swinging it, get jiggy. Get drunk, top, percolate anything you want to call it, oscillate, but don't take pity. Want to see you get locked on the rhythm of my ride. I'm a lyrics of about electricity. Girl, nobody can tell you nothing 'cause you don't know your destiny.
Okay, so all jokes aside, I know you did this as a joke, or not necessarily as a joke. I know you did this for fun, and I think the current mixdown and structure kind of alludes to that. My biggest piece of advice to you here is if you give this the time and care of an actual tune, this will actually be a great thing for you.
Yeah.
I think doing this kind of thing is really good as long as you do it occasionally and don't base your career off of it. This would go crazy at festivals. This would go crazy on TikTok. And this is something I can see going viral just because, like, at its core, it is a good song, but you're also allowing yourself to have fun with it. So with that being said, make it a better song. Add some really cool glitchy fills, add some things that break up the monotony of the flow, process the vocals in a way where they're not so, like, nasally. Make them sound a little better, and make them. And then thing too is the synth. The drop is louder than the vocals. The vocals should be the loudest thing. So just some TLC to this. You know what I mean? Don't treat the mix like a joke just because like the song is funny. This is good.
Yeah, this honestly, I was expecting it to like not work, but it actually like works. And I think, like Devin said, just make the vocals louder because in the drop, it's almost like the censored like covering the vocals. And I would say maybe tone down a bit of the crunch on the synths, but not too much because I kind of like it, but just enough so that where like the vocals come out.
Like I think it's funny that you can't hear the vocals because nobody even knows the words to that song anyway. So just fucking it's pretend like I know the words.
Bro,
I can't hear them anyway, so that's why I'm not singing it.
There's going to be fucking 4 34-year-old moms with 2 kids losing their mind singing every fucking word. I promise you.
He's not wrong.
So I'm not too familiar with the original song.
Sean Paul song.
Pause. How
I Yeah, I have a really bad habit of not knowing very popular songs. I very much like stick to my own little like corner of music, but I think the most interesting thing like that's going on in this track is the horns complemented with like the rhythmic bass, and like for me personally, I think like you were saying, the vocals are muddled out by the like the basses and everything. But I'm of the opinion, I'm like, why don't we just cut the vocals and like just turn this into original tune? Like, how much of this is like, cause like I said, I'm not very familiar with the source material, so I don't know how much of the melody
Okay,
is
so the
like
horns that
lifted
come
from
in
the
that
track.
the horns that came in that you've just been praising, those are an ode to the original melody of the tune.
Gotcha. Okay. So the thing is, like, you could still, my opinion is, I think you should try to, like, riff on this and try to turn this into an original because there isn't much of an intro
I
going on. And I
have a
don't,
version without vocals. Want to hear how that sounds?
I think the version without vocals would sound good. Like,
I think
because the problem, okay, go for it.
Sorry, me thinks
Send
right.
it.
Do both. Like have one that you can actually release,
Yeah, send
right?
it.
Have one that you can actually release, and then have the live version or the the DJ Tool
Yeah.
version with the
Yeah.
Sean Paul vocal.
Yeah.
Because the Sean Paul vocal, trust me, that's gonna hit on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That will work like live for sure. But if you're releasing like a song, like bootlegs are really popular on SoundCloud. Obviously, I want to hear what it sounds like without the lyrics. Just skip to the drop.
I'm not gonna shake that thing, and I cannot shake that thing, please. I'm not gonna shake that thing, yeah, no. Jody and Rebecca, woman, get busy. Just shake that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just keep swinging it, get jiggy. Get drunk, up, percolate anything you want, we call it oscillating, but don't take pity. Want to see you get locked on the rhythm of my ride, and my lyrics are about electricity. Girl, nobody can tell you nothing, cause you don't know your destiny. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds so much better without vocals. I think the vocals were literally hiding some of the like re-sound designs.
Yeah.
Going on. So what you could do in those parts where it sounds a little too empty is you can add like a entirely new bass. Like first thing that I'm thinking of off the head is like a sort of phasery sort of sound. Great, like,
Also, some re-spaces in between the fills wouldn't be bad either.
I like where the re-space is currently sitting. Like, what you could do for fill section is just add a little bit more percussion.
Sure.
But like the one thing I'm noticing is like the dun 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 dun, like that sort of like leading to the next 8-bar section. You could create like a little harmony with like either a form anti bass or like something more phaser, like phasey, essentially. Like I think personally, I like it so much better without the vocals because I think the vocals just sound a little bit muddy. But like if you like play that live, people will recognize that and be like, "Oh, it's that song!" Like, and it's already a good song to begin with, so it will naturally draw attention. But as far as like the bass track goes, I think it is stronger without the vocals than with the vocals.
Yeah, more of the elements are allowed to shine through, like you said.
And also at the same time, like you could just lift like the way the not the exact melody, but like you could take the like you could take the key and still work with that and like build a melody around that, because you're not going to get like it's not the most original melody of all time. Like it's like as far as the horns go, like it could be any song like that's in that scale. So you could still technically keep that as long as you like create a song around it. So that's what I would do. I think like you got something going on like as far as making an original tune, which is something I would like prioritize than a bootleg. and you can keep a bootleg version too.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Fucking throw them both out there. Release a bootleg one just for fucking promo and getting
Yeah,
clicks.
exactly. Yeah, and the other one on Spotify, easy peasy.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Uvalid. Uvalid. Fruity Pebbles. Crunch.
I think you're always gonna say
Okay, so this is like actually really decent song structure and like decent mixed down, but it's just like the starting point of the bass sounds like literal like just tube distortion plus like just like a wavetable at the same like starting point. It's just like it just doesn't sound like there's no movement in the bass. Like there's really good like the way the song is actually structured is quite solid, and like there's like variations through effects and everything, but I feel like this would just sound like just better if like the bass was just almost anything else. Like you could like open up Carbon and go to a like a 12 o'clock or a uh 8 o'clock or the 2 o'clock a position in Carbon and probably get a better like position of a starting sound, and then just put your processing on as how you currently have it, and it might sound better, but like it just sounds like really noisy and distorted and not defined, but everything else in the track's like solid. And also another thing with the melody, like I really enjoyed like the acid like intro thing, like like that up and down, but you after that down portion you just stayed up that entire time, and the little pitch bend to like build it up didn't really come off that well. I think it would have just probably sound better if you did like a repeat sort of deal and had like a white noise riser with maybe like a verb out or something and a little synth riser on top of that. It probably would have been more effective that way, but that's just what stood out to me personally.
For me, it sounded like there wasn't any low end, like I couldn't really hear the sub, and I feel like that probably could just be because I'm listening to it
Through Discord.
through Discord. Yeah,
The
yeah.
sub wasn't as like as saturated as a lot of the subs have been in a lot of tracks, but I think it sounded like there was sub bass from my end, but I could be.
But yeah, with
it
the
could
name
be
Fruity Pebbles Crunch, I expected it to be fucking thick.
Sorry, do me a favor and play it again. Yeah, so sorry, Cam, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I think the sub being saturated could fix a lot of the problems I'm having with the rest of the tune because the synth.
Send me it.
The
Send
main.
me it, I'll fix it.
Oh no.
Send me it. I'll fix it.
So the main synth, as it sounds right now, just sounds very flat, and like in the white noise, it sounds like it's taking over the entirety of the track. I think if you raise the mids in the sub and give the sub a little bit more warmth, around like 400, 500 hertz, it'll give some roundness to the overall mix. You know what I mean? So then you can get away with how dry the rest of the synths are. Because when I first heard it, I was like, it sounds a little flat, should I say? And then we listened to it again, and I was like, let's just say that this sub could be a little bit more warm. What do we?
gone.
Oh no, he's locked in. Look at him.
Yeah.
Mans is a product of the Matrix, bro.
All right. Should we load up the Jackson one while he works, or should we wait for him to be done? Oh, there we go.
All right.
Oh,
Hold on. I just
yeah,
gotta
fix that quick.
export it. Okay. Alrighty then. Share my screen. Can you hear this?
Yep.
Give me one
Okay.
second. I need to switch to your screen.
Oh yeah, I have to dial this in. We'll find out whether or not it's 140 in a second. I think there's also an issue with the side chaining. Because, like, the way this, like, comes in, it almost looks like the clap is staggered, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it, like, it's really doesn't have enough room to breathe. Like, and you can usually tell when there's an issue, like, with the sidechain because there isn't there isn't a blend. It looks like a complete bleed over.
Also, just looking at your wave file in FL now, you're giving yourself no headroom to work with, my nigga.
Oh, that's fine. Like not having like that much headroom, but like yeah,
I like having room for head, Max.
Yes, that is also good too. So there's that, but like there's this little part. So we're gonna like there is okay, let me route this. You'll see there is sub, but it just doesn't come in like at all, like in a sustained way. Like realistically speaking, this track probably just needs like let's just try this, see what happens. I don't think the high end needs to. I fixed it. Yeah, OTT 16%, 1.9 Spectre low end boost.
Speed run.
And then you could put like a G clip on. And now let's look at the before and after. So before. After. But if you can't hear it, like you'll notice that there is a substantial. This is redder than it used to be. There's more saturation through that, and we can also open up like Wave Candy and see. No. Yeah, there we go. Is that showing up on your guys' screen, the Wave Candy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like before
yeah,
you're just not getting nearly as much saturation, and now like just way more red. It's just getting pushed a lot harder, and that's partially because of the combination of the OTT just like gluing everything together, and then the Spectre just doing a low end boost. And like generically speaking, this is a pretty effective way of gluing stuff together. Now, like going into like fixing the sound. So like this was a portion that just didn't have any like drums in it. So I'm just going to just mute all this real quick, and like this is cleared up a little bit better by just adding like a vocoder, because you're now getting some definition to the track by like reducing the bands, because it's just super noisy. Like, also, you could probably just cut this little resonant part. That resonant part like isn't doing you any favors. You could paper box like probably add some like filtering of some variety. That's too much. Move to T. Do you want the depth all the way? So, like, the thing is, you can clean the sound up. It's already getting slightly cleaner. Obviously not nearly as loud, but, like, we can clean the sound up with a combination of filters. Just with low passes and the like. You'd probably turn down the resonance on that. And now, like, you sort of hear that it's starting to get a lot more defined. So... I would probably also just high cut this. But, and now we'll add the Vocodex. It's actually starting to get some definition through this sound. And like this could be a good starting point for you to like either like if you want to improve this exact sound, you're like, I love the tonality of this. I can't get it like in any other instance of me trying it. Like the best thing you could probably do in that like situation is just render it out and post process it, and like you can
like 6:30 a.m. Are you fucking British? The fuck?
Oh no.
But like that would be like an easy way to get that, and then you'd have to do is like
that's cool.
Process
You can
it,
carry,
make
you
it
can
louder
carry on.
again.
Wait, hold on. You're Finnish and you know who Sean Paul is, but Max doesn't. That's insane.
that is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
So this is the before. It's just super noisy, and just with like a little bit of filtering and like compression. And you can turn it up if you want. Like it's probably just better in this instance to do like something like that, and then just glue the sub back together and then add this sort of like compression chain to the master, and the song would be sounding better. But like I think the biggest issue is just like, once again, we're gonna go back to how it currently sounds. It's just like not defined and super noisy, and the tonality that you have currently is just really harsh in the not very pleasant way, in the I need to do a cut at 600 hertz sort of way. So yeah, that's like the sort of dissection feedback that I got.
Hell yeah. Up next, we got Jackson with Death and Taxes.
Hell yeah. I like the triple J's. That's fun. Reminds me of like Beautiful, like the logo reminds me of like Beautiful Joe.
Yeah.
Andrew, where the fuck have you been?
He's been hopping on CS with us.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
This bridge can be shortened up a tiny bit.
So there's this
like
little that sometimes lines up with the snare, and then other times it's delayed. I don't like that because it fucked with me. Because I was waiting for it and I was expecting it. You know what I mean? It's like when you're watching. Oh, dude, I'm about to age myself so hard at this. But it's like when you're at the end of the DVD, right? And you see the DVD logo bouncing around the fucking screen, and you're just waiting for it to hit exactly in the corner. That's what that mock pan snare boop did for me. Because sometimes it was a pan snare, other times it was an offbeat. I don't like that.
What is a DVD? Stop it! Stop it!
No, but this tune's good, dude. It's just a solid tune. Nothing I'm really gonna remember, but also like I enjoyed listening to it for what it was.
So that's like kind of a good segue into my criticism. I think like the most memorable part of the song as it currently sits for me is like the little vocal where it does da 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 da, or like not. I don't have like pitch perfect, so I'm not gonna recreate it as accurately as it is, but it's just like that vocal I feel like is really solid, and like I think the bass is really good, but I just am bored from hearing the same notes just sustained in different patterns. I feel like you could definitely incorporate that melody in the vocal and like make that the star of the show with the basses. Like I would, what I want to hear personally is that like melody incorporated with the basses, like dun 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 dun, dun, and then you can do like a sustain, and then have like the fills are great. So it's like that is like an easy way to fill out the track too, like the little fills you have in between. But like I just feel like there's a very easy way, at least for me, to spice up like in my head for this track to get like bring it up from like a B to an A. And like, because right now as it stands, it's a very solid tune. The like mix down's fine. I'm not super sold on that B section for the drop. I feel like it's more the same with like a sustained note, which some like is fine for some people, but just it doesn't alleviate the issues of the track, and it doesn't bring any new elements in. An interesting enough element for me personally. So I think that's what I would do, like if I were to like work on this track as it stands. Also, like the build, there's like something interesting going on, but it needs to be expanded on. At least the first build in the first intro. I don't remember per se if it was present in the second build, but I just remember like I'm like, oh, there's something interesting and unique going on in this section, and then it felt like it got cut off short for the build section.
All right, we have 8 tunes left, so we're gonna start fucking rapid firing these so we can get everyone in. Next up, we have Raindrop, Mellow.
No bloop yet. We'll see what that
Okay,
means.
pause it. All right, so that's all we have time for this song. So
That's good.
What happened? Oh,
I felt like
Blue
that second part had like a little bit better mix going on, and we're like, no.
yeah. I was gonna say
Hey,
it
come
sounds.
back!
It sounds
Wait.
like very not very, but like a little too distorted in the drop or something.
no,
You're right.
not a little. It sounds
It's way too distorted. Okay,
The sub
yeah,
is what is colloquially known as blown out. It might be a combination of the bass. Like there might be.
I think
like,
it is a combination
some-
of the bass and the sub. Because even
Yeah.
looking at the wave, like look where it peaks. You know, that's not the sub peaking. That's definitely the fucking the little fucking glossy synth. Sorry to cut you off, Max. But
No, you're fine.
the duality between having this really polished, clean intro, and one thing I need to point out, it sounds like your singer has a lisp. I actually love that.
pretty sure that's a Spice vocal or something because I've heard
God
that vocal before.
damn it!
I've heard that vocal before.
Okay, whatever. I stand by. I think it had a lot of personality, and not that this drop doesn't have personality, but the personality is being lost by this blown out mix down. So this tame it.
So I think it might be the harmonics of the bass. Like it might not have like a proper like cutoff to the sub. So like it sounds like to me it could be an issue where the sub, like there's a sub bass of the actual bass and a sub layered on top of it that's making it sound blown out, because the only reason why I say that is because the second drop that we got to hear like a second of didn't have that like blown out sub to it as like the previous drop did. So it makes me curious that maybe the issue might just be that you need to high cut some of your actual basses, because there's harmonics that are clashing with your sub harmonics. it sounds like you also put like either like duplicated the vocal and pitched it up like an octave, or have a pitch shifter on top with like half mix or something on top of the vocal, because there is a doubling effect that's on the vocal that I'm not super fond of. It's causing like some messiness in the vocal. That could be fine for like a second or two as like a sort of like quick effect or a turnaround or something like that, but in the main intro section, I don't think it's doing any justice. And yeah, like the biggest issue right now is like the intro's quite quiet compared to the drop. Like honestly, like with the pre-drop section, maybe you just cut the sub, because it's just so much louder. You need like some sort of segue between the loudness of the drop and the intro at the moment. And even if you raise the floor of the intro, like to be a bit louder, you're going to still need some sort of like transition point between the two.
Hell yeah. Up next, we got In Vain. Fucking sick ass artwork that his brother does. Commission his brother to do your artwork. In Vain, Bad Boy Sound. Final V2. Alright, it's too long, but we're still gonna play it. I'm gonna cut it off at 420 though, if it's fucking shit.
That sounds like a mare.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town. Ready for them, me say we ready for them. Ready for them because of your problem. Ready for them, me say we ready for them. Wow, tell you. say we ready for them. Ready for them because I'm pure problem. Ready for them, me say we ready for them. What I tell ya? Yeah. Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound. Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound. Jump and sound and me say sound like clown. Bad boy sound and me say my sound, it round the town. My sound make the phone gather round. My sound, no play with sound. My sound, kill sound. My sound, my sound, hip hop sound. My sound, driving sound. My sound, jungle.
All right, we got the gist of that.
Okay. So the first thing, like, I just don't think this is like a Reese track. Like, starting off from it, like, I think the part that this might sound like a trend, like, there was a melody that I thought was really interesting at like the outro section of the first drop that I thought was pretty interesting. I'm like, probably should just be moving that to the first drop. And the Reese going on, the Reese had really interesting like fill moments, but other than that, like, wasn't too compelling. I think it would just be much more interesting if you have the drums, the vocal, that melody, have like some just really clean 808s and like some fast hats, and that would like simplify and improve the song at the same time. It also sounds like there's like some sort of downsample effect on the clap. It might just be Discord, but I don't really enjoy that totally for happening for the entire song. Maybe you could use that as like sort of an effect, like have a bit crush effect towards the end of like a 4-bar section. But I would prefer to have a crispier, more defined clap. Other than that, like, I think the song is pretty solid. Like, I think like there's some structure things that I would personally change, but other than that, seems fine.
I like the song. I think everything's sitting exactly where it needs to sit, but I told you my problem with this, and it is the same reason why we wear condoms when we have sex with strangers, and that is the clap. So
that is crazy.
Get that shit sorted, and we're good.
Lodian,
I don't
your
even
collab,
want-
or do you want your original? Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Invain for trying something new, though. You did a
Yeah.
really good job.
Something new, nigga. This is a year old.
ago.
Oh shit! I didn't see that. Well, he hasn't sent a DMB tune before, so
He
fucking.
He sent.
He said I tried
Oh,
something new.
Never mind.
It
The
was a
other one-
while.
Damn.
Past
Yeah.
I tried something new a long time ago.
Yeah,
My bad.
that's crazy.
I think
That's
you
like
should
me-
make more DMB though.
That's like
Whatever.
me giving you a new burger that was new 2 weeks ago, nigga. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's this new burger that came out. It's the Whopper. Ever heard of it?
Brand new burger. Never heard of. All right, select Lodian. War is red. V2.
With the pain we bleed
I feel like my main problem with this song is with how long the intro and the fucking bridge is. Like, the drop just feels like a blue ball. Like, it's so short compared to everything. Like, right as it's starting to get fun, it just goes back into just the slow.
Yo, young snap, booming. The queue is closed for this week. You can come back next week if you're around. We do this. We try to do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. PST. We'd love to have you. I know this is your first time. Sorry to just be like shutting you down real quick, but we got like, I don't know, 4 more songs I think, and then we got to wrap it up. Devin actually has to wrap it up after the next song because he has an early flight tomorrow.
Oh shit.
But that being said, I know. Sorry, I know I told you this a million times, Lodian. You just remind me of Flume so much. And I mean, like, Devin has to leave after next song. I didn't say that the stream is ending. There's a huge difference.
But also,
I
don't know if your thing went through. I'm not seeing your thing in our stream elements.
But yeah, so the intro to sounds are like really compressed to me for some reason. Anything that has vocals, like, I don't want to hear compression. I want to hear clean, polished vocals. I wanted to have like a pop song mixed down. You know what I mean? Very bright, very apparent, easy to hear the vocals. You know what I mean? The snare on the drop, I can't stand that. The snares is so fucking punchy. Like, you have a bro step song on like a future bass-esque tune, for lack of a better term. I'm not really sure what category this fits into. I like the idea of bringing in crazier synths on the second drop, but it's like, dude, that shit just happened so abrasively. I was like, nigga, what?
It was kind of jarring how the
I
second
kind
drop
of liked
came in.
it. I actually I really enjoyed the first section of the second drop, but I do know, like, I think the snare makes a lot more sense in that portion than it does in the first drop. But like, what you could do to like sort of alleviate that is just switch snares, like literally just get a different snare, which is totally fine. Like, variating your drums is something that's pretty refreshing, as long as they're like running through the same sort of similar compression chains and everything, and they make sense contextually in the song. You can definitely get away with like snare swap. Yo, check it out, snare swap.
And then chat, you guys have been here for a couple years now. You know I lose my shit when I hear a good snare change.
But
I feel like a good snare change really makes a switch. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Max.
No, you're good. So like I said, I really liked the second drop. Like, yeah, like it probably is a little bit like crazy without like too much of a build up towards it. But the way I want to like what I would do with this track personally, I want to incorporate that second drop first and then have a pretty section afterwards. I'm not super big fan of the second drop's last 8 bars. I think that needs a little bit of work. But I think it could be really interesting if you just like blend the two together to make a 32 bar drop, so that you're alleviating the issue of, oh, this drop's not going on for long enough. And also at the same time, just like highlighting the really interesting parts of the sound. Like, there's so many sounds that are going on in this. You could easily, like, just from the second drop and the first drop, I'm sure you can make like a 32 bar drop with all those combined together and make it sound pretty interesting at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the first drop better than the second drop. I like the melodic elements that you have going. I like that there's little melody going through the first drop. I think the first drop was just more interesting to me. But like Devin said, that punchy bro step snare kind of doesn't fit.
Like,
But other than
you
that, I
probably,
like this. I like the intro and bridge a lot too.
you'd probably want like a just really thin, really almost like D&B style snare with like a metallic-y sort of tail. You could even like try to like use chroma to like process specifically a tail for the snare and layer that in with the transient and the body of the snare and see like try to get like a really interesting tonal element through it. There like you could definitely get creative with like there's room for improvement in a lot of sections, but like the bass track that you're working with is good. So that's the good part. It's just like getting that extra 10%.
Hell yeah. Next up, we got Orthmo with ID1.
Play not the entire thing, just a bit of it.
Bro, that.
The mix sound on the drop is so good, but the mix sound on the intro threw me off because it just.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't necessarily describe the drop having that good of a mix down. Like the bass is almost, from what I hear, at least on my end, it sounds completely mono. Like there's no like stereo with at all to it, which isn't necessary, but it's just like scarily mono.
Well, okay. What I meant to say is the drop sounds infinitely better from a mix standpoint than the intro to me.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree to that. Yeah.
To the point where once the drop hit, I was so focused on, dude, what's happening in that intro that I kind of wasn't criticizing the drop because I was just still so stuck on like, bro, like,
yeah,
I thought that was the drop.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I thought that was like, okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting like
That's why I had to, like,
we're going.
like-
All right, the drops here.
that's why I had to run
that's
the
not
drop
it.
back again. That's why I had to run the drop back again. I was like, dude, I need to get my head out of this fucking intro and like actually listen to this drop again. Because I was just like, I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
But I know you're a good producer. Like I'm very aware of like everything you've not only turned into peer review, but what you've sent me on the side. So I know that's all intentional, but like, bro, just like I know that Max is gonna have some feedback for the actual drop itself, but at least put the intro in the same realm of mix sound as the drop as it currently sounds. And then once UBUR gives you more feedback on how to fix the drop from his perspective, I would say implement that to the intro as well. Because the intro is just, it's distracting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the intro's very. It's like hard to get into, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of hard to like catch a vibe to the intro, and then the drop comes in and it sounds cleaner mix wise.
There's a lot of, like, for lack of better words, nonsense happening throughout this. Like, there is no real, like, the only grounding point you have is like the melody, and I like the melody, and I think the melody like is like this is starting to become a trend, but like this melody is good that you're working with. Expand on it. Where like the drop as it currently stands has almost little to nothing to do with the melody, and I also like I'm not really a fan of any of the sounds that's going on in it. Like everything kind of just like happened for the most part. There's no real grounding elements between the tracks. Like what I would honestly just want for this, like, overhaul this entire tune, just take this melody and be like, how can I like get this really like take like almost like the hip hop like 90s boom bap mentality of like, okay, I found this really good section of a song and I want to make this section an entire song. Take that mentality and apply it to that little melody, the da 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 da, or like it's really interesting, and I want to hear that expanded on more. Like go and like rewrite the MIDI, like go and try to like write the like sample into MIDI, or find the key like for the scale that it's working in, and just try to expand on it because I think that's like a lot of music making at the end of the day is like taste and like preference and like really dialing everything in, and just right now it just feels like it feels like a lot of stuff happening with no real intention behind it.
Very true. Very real. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Devin says it.
Yes,
Fucking
sir.
weak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Keep it.
It's tough to do that, but also at the same time very true.
And it's something. Blah, 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 blah. There's something Maxwell said at the beginning of the stream that's worth noting. I think I was ripping into someone for just doing way too much. I think it was Nair. Yeah, it was definitely fucking Nair. Anyways, he said something along the lines of like, "Yo, you can write, you can get the complexity out in the writing process because we as producers tend to do that. But then once you've gotten out everything you need to get out under the dog, go back and strip away everything that's unnecessary."
Yeah, you get a lot of value from like you can create really interesting melodies and interesting flows just by removing stuff. Like as far as like YouTube channels like that really help for let me see if I can find this one. Actually, I'll come back to that in a second. It's going to take me a second to find this channel, but it's Synthet. Oh, okay, it just popped up. Synthet. This guy like produces an FL Studio and makes like essentially shorts for like really cool production tips for like mostly just songwriting. Like some of them are just like quality of life production tips, and others are just literally like, how do I make my melody more interesting, or how do I create a more interesting groove? And a lot of it is just like just creating like off times and like removing stuff from tracks, and like instead of having like a 4x4 beat just go like like introducing the way to stuff. There's a whole multitude of things you can do, but like I highly recommend. I pretty much tell everyone to like watch Synthet videos because it's just extremely high quality content, really condensed, and pretty much will immediately help give you new ideas to produce.
Fuck yeah. More sauce, more sauce. Next up, we got the dude. Chronic.
Okay.
The dude.
No disrespect to the dude, but Devin personally asked to peace out, so I'm gonna peace out. I gotta go to fucking Colorado tomorrow for Club Studio time. Maxwell, thank you. We're not done yet. They're gonna carry this shit, and I'll see you guys next. I'll see you guys next Thursday.
Yeah, we have like
3
What,
more
we have like
songs.
3 songs left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. The Dude Chronic. Yeah, and if you're in Denver, you probably already missed out on this Club Studio Time tickets, but
If you're in Denver, you missed out. So the biggest issue I'm noticed immediately with this track, it doesn't sound like the drums aren't sidechained, but it sounds like the drums are substantially quieter than the basses. Like we're talking like 2 to 3 dB quieter than the basses, and the like when people say there's no rules to EDM, there's kind of some rules. Like generally speaking, you want to have your drums at the same level or louder than the basses for dubstep, and it just sounds really. There's no impact as a result. Uh, like I think that being said, the basses also feel extremely blown out, and not in like the crunchy, cool way either. Where it feels like there is a boost at like 200 ish area where the harmonics sit, and it's just like super muddy harmonics just eating up the headroom. As a result, I almost like what I would just go ahead and do if I like had an EQ on the whole drop, I would just like literally just take a really wide notch and just bring it down at 500 and do like essentially a reverse disco smile where I'm just turning down almost all the mid-range elements and just trying to like boost up, like keep the low end where it's at and keep the high end where it's at, but then go and high shelf everything up like 60 dB because everything is, it just sounds like there's no high end to the basses. It's super blown out like upper harmonics, and then the drums need to just be like either boosted or everything needs to be turned down. There's just like some like big balance issues and like uh just like not necessarily EQing, but like they're everything is not sitting where it should be.
yeah, because the drums weren't really fucking driving it. All I could really focus on was like that white noise distortion-y shit coming from the bass or the main bass that wasn't really. I don't think it was supposed to be there, but it was just kind of like white noise artifacts coming through.
I didn't even really hear much white noise. I just thought like I think it actually needs more high end.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, you could turn down like the thing is with like sound and loudness, if you turn your lower harmonics will eat up more headroom the louder you turn everything up, just because of how everything works. Like, you can easily get stuff to be louder by turning up upper harmonics and still keeping clarity, just because they're thinner and don't eat up as much of like the headroom as far as like digital workspaces go. So it's something to keep in mind. Like like 3 hertz in the lower harmonic region will like outnumber, like be louder than like 300 hertz in the 10 to 10,000 hertz region, if that makes any sense. But yeah, just like the song has big balance issues.
Next
Fangs.
tune.
Yeah, it was gonna be Fangs, but I don't see an email from you, Fangs. So we will have to go to the next one, which is Ostrominate.
We love Astrominate tunes here.
Okay, Mexico represent.
Yeah, it's a very cool style.
Do this-
Can I
oh,
send a
fuck.
40-second meme song?
Oh,
No.
Astrominate. You also didn't send an email. God damn it.
Astrominate and Fangs, they're going to the bucket list. Yeah.
All right, Apostle. Let's see if you sent a fucking email. Yeah, you did. Let's go. All right, Apostle. Give me 3.5.
Concentrate, that's just catching me. Like it's
So I really like the intro, the bridge, and the outro, and I like the melodic elements you have in the drop, but I feel like the basses are a little bit too distorted for this style of song. Like I feel like you almost could have went with like more melodic, like I don't want to say color bass, but like a little bit more melodic basses to go with the tune, because like those like blown out sense kind of just almost didn't fit right for me.
So I think the bass is just like just like it's just not a great bass. Like that's the issue with it. Like the flow of it is great. Like the actual
The
song,
flow
how
and
it's
structure is
arranged,
fire.
it's really good how everything is arranged. It's like very reminiscent of like Beast Boy. And Beast Boy has like great music. Like very big fan of Beast Boy's music, and like this gave me like a little bit of flavor of that. But the biggest like the bass is like a glaring issue. And like I think this is just like it sounds like you tried to make this bass yourself and it came out not like it came out good for like at for where you're at right now as far as sound design goes, but like it's not it's substandard for where dubstep is at currently, and that's okay because like what you can do in the meantime if you want to just like make this song a song. Actually, you know what? Like, would probably be really good. Odd Profit has really good bass tutorials where you could like use those and like improve this sort of gun sound. Now, granted, it's probably going to make it sound more mastodon-y or something like that. But the thing is, you could still tame a lot of this. Like, um, just like right now, like the bass is pretty dry. It doesn't have much definition to it. There's no like um I would have to go back to listen to see how like wide of a sound it is, but it just sounds really flat and doesn't have much texture to it whatsoever. So that's always something you have to keep in mind because like with basses, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. Like to achieve that sort of effect, you can work with layers, and layers is like for example, Sudden Death like got really good at sound designing because he would just make a bunch of different basses, and they'd all be like relatively simple sounds, and then layer them all together, and eventually like they all work together. He process them all together, and it's like wow, that's a really good like really um like like a lot of depth to the sound, and that's because he essentially made multiple basses and put them together. Or you could do like what Odd Profit does, where it's like you're making an all-in-one bass, and it is there's a lot of organization that's went to get to the point to where like he can mally like essentially easily work with it and easily change it like within the chain and in the patch so that it can get multiple bass effects. But the thing is like you just want to have something full and like have a lot of depth to it. And that like I think the biggest thing you could do to help improve that is just like watch a bunch of bass tutorials. Like AU5 is a great place to learn sound design. Odd Profit is a great one. As far as other sound design goes, like you could go to like old Rocket Power Sounds videos and still like grasp like get some stuff from that. Like there's old Barely Alive videos on how the Barely Alive boys did their mix downs and did their sound design and all that. There's stuff to grasp from all these videos, and there's just like a plethora out on YouTube. Like, so I don't know, just like this might be like everything else is really solid. The only thing I can think of like the song structure wise that I wasn't a fan of is I just don't like hearing like pitch bends within melodies for builds. I think a lot of times pitch bend builds are really corny unless they're like really drawn out and like work with like a specific like just like one note that's slowly over like the course of like 8 bars pitches up 3 semitones like in uh Bizo, Ominous, Sheer Cold. That's like the only good like, at least in my opinion, the only good track that has a pitch bend in it. Because I don't like hearing like melodies that are already like in a scale pitch bend, because then everything goes out of whack and it doesn't sound great, in my opinion. But yeah, you got something going on. Just like you just need to like really dial in the sound design, and I think you got something.
Fuck yeah. All right, last up, we got Astrominate. Fangs and Sensate will get you next time, since Fangs forgot to submit and Sensate submitted after submissions were closed. Still love you. All right. Tere. Astrominate.
That 110 section where the blum 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 bass comes in, that should just be the whole song. JT, can you go back to like that 110, 120 section? No, it's farther back. Farther. Much farther. It's like towards the end. It's like, yeah, like right over there. That that's super clean. Like, I feel like that section's super clean. And like it doesn't even necessarily need the basses, like that main bass that's been playing that whole song going that entire time. I like that sound. Like, for me personally, when I find like sounds like that, what I'll do like is I'll mute all the other sounds and try to figure out how to incorporate that. And like I feel like that is the star of the show, and that's what the song should be based around. That blum bum blum boom, boom, boom. Like the sub should follow that. The whole structure of the song should follow that. I like the little fills that like are happening. Like everyone has had really good fills throughout this like live stream, which I can really appreciate. But like the fills you have in the track are good. It's just like I feel like this is that sound is the star of the show, and all the other sounds should become supporting sounds.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm talking like the main bass. Like I'm not even gonna lie, the main bass is like my least favorite sound, probably
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
was gonna
listening to it
say
the
I don't
most.
know how I feel about the main bass.
Yeah, so like have that blum 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 like because that flow actually works, and like that could be like a main flow. You have the little melody like snippets come through for a second. Blum bum bum boy bum 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 bum. Like you can do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like this is like this track just needs restructuring personally. That's my big feedback. Like, at, it's really tough, especially when like you work on something so long. There's a theory, well, not a theory. It's like an economic principle called sunk cost fallacy, and like when you work on something for so long, you really become like, yeah, I had like you're like I like this sound and I want to make this work. I have to make this work because I spent so much time on it, and I'm making it the like star of the show when it really isn't, and you don't realize in hindsight until like you have like hindsight or something, and you're like, oh, that sound not too big on it. And like for stuff like that, like when it comes to working on music, you like it definitely does help having like outside opinions to come in, because it can help you get like have grounding and figure out direction where you might want to take the song. But I feel like with this one particularly, um, yeah, that sound, the blah blah blah, it's just has like was very interesting for me, and I would just like try to overhaul this track as a result. If I were you, I don't even think it's like playing with that bass. I think like you just take that bass, how the flow is right now, give it its own dedicated sub, and build everything else around that.
All right. Last up we'll do Sense8 since fucking Fangs did not submit. Sense8, technically you submitted after it was closed, but we'll get to it. Where's my cash?
So I'm not a fan of like square four and really any BPM besides 140 personally. But if you want to like do this sort of style, I highly recommend referencing like old Deemed tracks, because in my opinion Deemed is like the king of like rhythm and percussion at the same time. And like when it seems like you're very like beat influenced like by like SoundCloud beats and that sort of stuff, and like the beat was like the beat section that you had going was really dialed in and everything, but the second that I got into the rhythm portion, either 120 or like 130 rhythm section, it like kind of broke down. Like it sounded like the low end of the square four basses weren't cut out, so it was bleeding into the sub. And also it sounded like it's just like the basses were really like mid heavy, when like square four basses typically do have some pretty nice high end you can get with like the right sort of compression and distortion, and also boosting, of course. So it's like there you're missing that element as well. And I don't know, like my personal opinion is like there's a lot to work on here, but I also think there is some good reference material if you want to go like from the prior greats. If you want to go down this route of like beat rhythm, definitely recommend checking out Deemed and referencing that, because I just really love Deemed personally, and like there's a lot to explore in that space of like rhythm and like trap beats combined.
Yeah, Deemed Iced Out. Go listen to it now.
Deemed Iced Out is got the best percussion of any dubstep tune I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how I really feel about the square four basses. Everything else I like because I like that this tune has kind of that like. I mean, we always say this about your tunes. You have like that like Suicide Boys like SoundCloud rap style to your music, and I like it a lot. I hear it in the drums and stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like the square four basses weren't the move.
I think it's just the BPM. I think it's the BPM in the mix, because it's like it's going to be much harder to like Square 4 very much is like it's like hearing a hard style drum at 140. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, like you can make a hard style kick work in like a build section for a dubstep tune, but like we're talking that's like 128, like that's 280 at that point.
Yeah.
And it's like it just sounds too slow. But like you yeah, it's just like making a slow hard style tune doesn't make sense, and making a slowed down rhythm tune is just, I'm sure someone can make it work, but like it doesn't fit the genre very well. So like that's why I'm saying check out Deemed, because like that's a historically a good blend of the two, but it's still staying at like 140.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Square 4 up tempo at 210 BPM. Hell yeah,
Let's
brother.
go, Shucks.
Keep it at like keep it one octave higher too, so with the sub bass as well, so it sounds like someone sped it up on a CDJ.
The water's just different over in France. All right. Well, I think that's about all we got for tonight. Thank you to everybody that submitted. We only got to donations pretty much, but thank you to everyone that joined, hung out, chatted, and big shout out to UBUR for joining us.
Shout out UBUR for joining, giving us some
the most detailed feedback we've ever fucking
received. man's opened the DAW for y'all.
Yeah, literally opened the DAW, put your songs in the. Didn't even provide a download link, and he had to do that manually.
Had to record off Audacity. Yeah. But like sometimes, like I'm of the opinion, like sometimes all you need to do to like it's really difficult to always like verbalize what you mean when I have tools. I have the tools right at my fingertips that I could use and like explore the possibilities myself.
Exactly.
So I do like having like critique with like actual like producing behind it. I'm like, this is exactly what I mean, and they're like, oh. No confusion there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right. We're going to raid over to J Vuggy. Jill, she's playing some Daisy, one of the Grocery Boys original members. Original? Fucking hell.
Original.
I need to go get some food. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Fangs, it should be next Thursday, potentially.
Yeah, just check our socials. We keep you guys updated on Twitter, Instagram, all that.
We'll get you first up since you donated and didn't submit. We will see you guys next time. Peace.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
right.